contrast between legal methods of human migration and illegal ones means a difference between life and death, particularly in the United States of America, where policy around migration and border control has featured heavily in sentiments from citizens there. Tonight on NTV, our senior reporter Ngina Kirori dives into the underworld of crime regarding migration in the U.S., where she gained official access into the tunnels used by human traffickers and drug smugglers. Here now is that report.
In Nogales area of the United States of America, the howling winds and scorching sun make the landscape a prime candidate for a Wild Wild West cowboy movie. And just like a scene straight from a movie, this exclusive access into the criminal underworld, quite literally, of human and drug smugglers leads us through the blueprint used by these criminal networks: tunnels.
Now, when you think about a tunnel, what might come to your mind is a very narrow passageway, but this is actually a tunnelway that many of the illegal migrants who come in from Mexico have been accused of using by the U.S. authorities on this other side. And it's a tale of two cities, really, that are separated by a wall. And in some instances, many of these people looking to cross into the U.S. use tunnels such as these. This is a tunnel that measures about a mile. That's if you're going to the north wing of it. And you can see the massive use of structure that actually redefines what a tunnel might look like for you.
We get a further look at how some of these tunnels came into being. Drills, hammers, axes, and other equipment displayed at the U.S. Border Patrol office in Nogales, Arizona, form a collection of the items found and confiscated in much smaller tunnels that have been previously discovered.
So the threat posed by cross-border tunnels and narcotics tunnels is pretty significant in this area. It's really hard to say how long it takes in the build. We really don't know, but I would say it depends on the length. Some of these tunnels run from anywhere from a couple hundred yards. The longest one that we've interdicted, which actually wasn't complete, was about 3/4 of a mile long.
However, above ground in San Diego, this rhythm contrasts life in the criminal underworld tunnel network. This is the San Isidro port of entry. It is one of the world's busiest land border crossings. Here, authorities use sniffer dogs, manpower and machinery to intercept illegal narcotics and human smugglers while facilitating legitimate trade and travel.
In addition to that, we also have our X-ray systems.
Sydney Aki, the director of field operations here, explains that high traffic is a common feature here. Up to 15,274,409 vehicles crossed through in 2025 from Mexico. The San Diego Border Patrol, which has previously grappled with understaffing and underfunding, says smugglers now actively recruit victims through social media. They charge up to $10,000 for land crossings and as much as $20,000 for maritime routes. When cartels run out of options, they resort to kidnapping, holding victims for ransom, or forcing women into prostitution to pay off their debts. It is a window into the brutal mechanics of human smuggling.
Right now, you see the stairs?
Yeah.
But legal migration also offers its own possibilities. Take the Cross-Border Express, a 390-foot pedestrian sky bridge linking the United States and Mexico. Think of the footbridges across highways in and around Nairobi, only longer and with a remarkable difference. By the time you reach the other end, you are in an entirely different country. The ground rule is that you must be a ticketed passenger flying in or out of Tijuana Airport in Mexico. At CBX, you present your passport, flight ticket, and other documents here. And once completed, you walk straight in or out of Mexico through the bridge. This allows travelers to bypass traditional long vehicle or pedestrian queues.
And it takes a few years of diplomatic negotiations, obviously, and studies of feasibility, and then eventually they got a presidential permit from the U.S. side, and then the authorization from the Mexican federal government as well to build the facility.
Back at the land border, the dangers facing legal and safe migration are made viscerally clear by the brutal methods employed by human traffickers and smugglers. methods that have cost hundreds, if not thousands, their lives along this route. Gena Kirori, NTV.